So I'm here in a beautiful London estate, joined by Deman, former LCS caster, who is now here. You can listen to him cast as long as you live in the UK, casting for the BBC. How did that come about? How did you end up returning to cast some League of Legends, specifically for the BBC here?
They just simply approached me. I got asked to do it. Myself and Joe both got asked to do it. So obviously I was delighted to accept. A, it was the BBC. B, it was League of Legends. I was like, yes, and yes, I'll do this. It should be really good. And it's actually turned out to be fantastic. I've been really happy with it.
What is the differences between, when you used to cast for LCS or Worlds, and now when you're casting? Somebody's walking by. Now, whenever you're casting,
everyone in my house these days, all these people just rudely walking into our house.
It's the help. It's so hard to find good help, I think is the phrase. So what's the difference between casting LCS or one of the big international tournaments on like a Riot broadcast compared to something like this here for the BBC?
Outside of the noob-friendly stuff we're doing, in-game is actually very similar. Obviously, I'm doing it with Stress, so he's a Riot caster in the first place, does the EU Challenger stuff. So in-game, we're kind of still approaching it the same. We are explaining stuff a little more. For example, we discussed the red buff, the blue buff, the dragon buffs, the baron buffs, etc., and why they're getting these things, why they're fighting, why is there a big team fight over a dragon buff. But outside of that, we're obviously doing a more noob-friendly stuff. That's why Dev's doing the hosting. Literally approaching it as a guy that knows nothing about the game. So if he's thinking, I don't know this, therefore the viewers might not know this, that's the whole approach to it. We're clearly obviously explaining League of Legends because it's not an easy game for a viewer that has never played the game to understand. It's just lots of pixels flying around and nobody knows what the hell is happening. Everybody's getting excited. So it's from that point of view that we're trying to go. We're trying to go from a very noob-friendly, but not completely dumbing it down. When we get in game, same old as always, going straight into it.
Now, I know you don't work at or represent the BBC, but do you get a sense that this has been successful? Like it's been a successful broadcast, or they seem happy with it at all?
Yeah, I had no idea what expectations to have with the BBC. I've worked with TV people in the past for various events, and they've always come in with the impression of we know better. Now, these guys that are doing the BBC, they did the Olympics, they do Wimbledon, they're proper sports guys, proper experienced guys, and they've come into this with a really great attitude of you are the veterans, therefore we will listen to what you guys have to say about it. So Joe's obviously working on the production side. He's been giving them feedback, and they've been very open to it. And they've every single night, like anything you want to change, anything we should be doing. But I'm more impressed with like how the resources they've approached it. They've approached it as though they would a traditional sport on the BBC. Anyone that's in the UK will know. When there's a big event on, say, I don't know, the Rugby World Cup's on at the moment, there'll always be live texting going on, obviously the TV side of things, and also all the web coverage and all that sort of thing. They're doing the exact same thing for esports. And the fact that they've set up bbc.co.uk/esports in itself is like recognition that, wait, the BBC have got an esports page on their main page.
Do you get the sense that they're happy with how the last 3 days have gone?
Yeah, absolutely. One of their head BBC guys was there on the first day when Origin were playing, and well, obviously anyone that was there, the atmosphere was amazing. It was probably the best day to house something like that there, and they were all delighted. It obviously came across well. Everybody I've spoken to seems absolutely delighted with the way it's gone. They seem to be addressing this and thinking, you know what, this is legitimate. And they've obviously taken a while to be probably persuaded to come and do this. I've heard that it's been a couple of months in the making. It's not like a snap decision, we're suddenly going to do esports. But it seems that, everybody has been generally happy with the way it's gone, way and above their expectations. Jesus Christ, these people, you can't hire proper help. They just walk in front of things. He's fired tomorrow.
Now, I do have to ask you about a Reddit thread that went up about halfway through the event, claiming that you were very likely to come back to Riot and LCS and all that very soon and return to League of Legends. Can you confirm this? Can you deny this? What's going on there?
Well, it's impressive that they've come up with this since I got asked to do this 3 weeks ago, and I had to suddenly prep League of Legends. Like, I have not cast League of Legends or really followed it too heavily. Obviously, I watched all the playoffs, but in terms of a league, I've not really followed it that much because I've been doing Counter-Strike, I've been doing FIFA, I've been doing Total War, I've been doing H1Z1, I've been everywhere, as have you, recently. So, sure, I guess, you can put one-on-one together and get 3. It's like, oh, look, he's doing League of Legends, therefore he must be coming back. I don't know, really, honestly. There's a couple of ways of looking at it. I'm in a very good position right now because I can go and do all of these things, and if BBC are looking to do more, then I would be locking myself down to work for Riot. But on the flip side, if you're working for Riot, you're also in a very prestigious position that you're going to be doing the league for the however long it's going to go. I don't know, honestly. I've literally not decided anything, not discussed anything, not said anything. So it's total conjecture right now. Currently, I work for ESL, and that's how it is.
Do you miss casting League or anything like that? Has it been nice for you to return here?
I mean, even Rioters are getting in shot right now. This is just disgraceful. I need to clear out the servants. The quarters are terrible. We're having a nice homely discussion here. But go back to your question. It is nice to be back casting League of Legends. I'd be lying if I said otherwise because I love the game. Obviously, it's what I became popular for 4 years ago. Obviously invested a lot of my career into it. It's what turned me away from being a web developer in the first place to full-time commentator. Yeah, and it's fantastic. So obviously I love doing it. So, but I love commentating esports basically. This League of Legends is not the first game I came across, and it won't be the last game I come across. Obviously, before this I did Battlefield, Call of Duty, Supreme Commander, FIFA. Now Counter-Strike Go, obviously, but I love casting esports. It's just I don't do it. If you're sitting at home, do you just play one game or one game only? No, you don't. You play lots of games. So that's why I like casting lots of games.
I mostly just play Hearthstone and League of Legends, so 2 games for me. Is there anything that you would like to say to any of the Deman fans or any of the fans in League that we're super happy to hear that you were here casting in, even if the majority of them probably can't even watch the broadcast?
Oh, just thank you very much for the great reception I've had coming back into League of Legends. Didn't really know how it's going to be. I assumed it would be okay, but you never know. I mean, I've been a year away. A year in esports is a long time. Obviously I'm not getting the greatest of receptions in Counter-Strike, so, it's nice to suddenly get a lot of praise for a while. It was very interesting to see the 2 different announcements on Reddit. One day the BBC announcement, the next the major. There's very big contrast between the 2.
Well, hey, thank you so much for the interview. It's been great to see you again after quite a bit of time, at least in the esports world. So thanks again, and great to see you getting so much attention as well. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things Worlds at GameSpot.com/LOL.